Hi everyone, I'm Robyn Sweet. I am a paralegal with Cleary Shahi Aicher. I have been a paralegal with the civil litigation firm for a little over 10 years now. So I've been working with Cleary Shahi Aicher for a little over 10 years. I've worked in other firms before that. I have spent some time working in other areas of business as well. I have worked at an auto repair shop and real estate agency, an insurance agency, a bank. What all of those different businesses taught me were some basic core office skills, such as phone presence, working with Word softwares, different office equipment, things of that nature. All of those are important skills to know in order to be a paralegal or a legal assistant. In order to be successful in this type of profession, you need to be extremely detail-oriented, well-versed in communication, whether it's written or verbal. You also need to have a knowledge of how to do case research, which is the really distinguishing piece between a legal assistant and a paralegal. So legal assistants are more inclined to assist the attorney in their photocopying, their appointment setting, communications with the court as to their availability, things of that nature. Whereas the paralegals are going to be more in tune with doing the writing of the legal documents, the initial writing before the attorney reviews them, or speaking with clients or witnesses about what the case is and where the case is going. They're also going to do a lot of the legal research in order to support those legal documents. So they're going to look up things like other case law or statutes or rulings in other states, which is more of case law, but that kind of details. They're going to look at if it's a personal injury, then they're going to look at the medical records of the person who was injured, and they're going to look for key parts and pieces of what it is that the case is really centered on. So let's say, for instance, this is a person who is claiming that they've had a back injury because of an auto accident. The paralegal is going to look through those medical records, and if they see that the person has also received, a back injury 2 or 3 years before the auto accident, that's really a key piece of information that the attorney is going to want to know. So I guess the next kind of important thing to know for paralegals is that in order to advance your career, we had already talked about how you don't need to have anything really above a high school diploma, but I had mentioned that an associate's degree is helpful, or even a bachelor's degree would be helpful. That's because there are 3 primary certifications that are available for paralegals. There are 2 offered through the National Federation of Paralegal Associations, and then there is 1 offered through the association known as NALA, which is the Paralegal Association. The NALA Association designation is called the CP exam, or the Certified Paralegal Exam, and that has different requirements. It has a written component, which is called the skills exam, and then there's the knowledge exam. So the knowledge exam is a bunch of, I think it's 200 multiple choice, and then once you pass that exam, you then have to write a legal memo, which is graded based upon grammar and spelling and the legal research that you've done in order to support your memo. If you pass that exam, you are then known as a CP at the end of your name. And then through NIFPA, which is the National Federation of Paralegal Associations, there are 2 designations. There's the core paralegal exam, and then there is the advanced paralegal exam. So the core paralegal exam is for entry-level positions, or those paralegals who do not have a secondary education. So I obtained my core paralegal designation, which is my CRP, prior to obtaining any secondary or completion of any secondary education. And I received that, I believe, in October of 2016. I have recently finished my associate's degree in December of 2019. And following that, I have since sat for my RP, which is the advanced paralegal designation, and I am awaiting those results. So fingers crossed, I've passed that. And then, so that is one way to advance your degree and advance your profession within the paralegal and sort of set yourself aside from other paralegals. Another thing that you can do for career advancement, if you really are wanting to stay in the legal field, would be to, once you complete your bachelor's, you can then enter the law study program, which is called Reading for the Law, which means that you spend 4 years working with attorneys in different areas of the law. So there's the corporate law, there's civil litigation, there's criminal, there's family, there's probate, there's bankruptcy, and I'm sure I'm missing other areas of law as well. And you study within those different areas for 4 years, and then you're able to sit for the bar exam without having to go to law school. So it's pretty unique. There are, I believe, 4 states that allow for that, one of which is Vermont, another is California. So you may be familiar with Kim Kardashian. She is also reading for the law out in California. So another thing we wanted to talk about today is why I do what I do. So I love my job. I really, really love my job. I don't really know a lot of other adults who get to say that they really enjoy what they do every day. But I do. And one of the things that I really enjoy is the tennis match of civil litigation. So what happens in civil litigation is we will ask one side a bunch of questions and ask them to give us a bunch of information, and then in return they will give us those things, but they will also ask us a bunch of questions and ask for a bunch of information. And it sort of goes back and forth and back and forth, and I really love that. I love the legal research. I love the summarizing of the information. I love finding that one detail that feels like a needle in a haystack. I also really enjoy feeling like I've helped the client get the best outcome that they can, right? So when I'm reading all of this and I'm helping them come up with the case plan or the case strategy, then they're able to get the best outcome. And that really makes me really happy when that happens. So if you are a self-starter who can work well independently, but can work well as a team member, if you are detail-oriented, if you have computer skills such as word processing, which is like your Word documents, your Google Docs, right? Excel, things like that. And again, I cannot overstress the detail-oriented. Then being a paralegal might just be right up your alley. I hope that it is.